I want to know how I do it.
I'm so confused right now.
Why?
There we go.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Last Place Fire Team podcast show. I am your host, Chris. I haven't hosted probably a month now. It's been a while. Just stalling for time as we make sure that everything is live. We good?
Like it? Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Like it.
Okay. Welcome everybody again. Like I said, I am Chris. Joined with me as always my two co-hosts. Yendi, how you doing?
Well, everybody, good. How are you guys?
Doing all right. And Alan.
That's me. What's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Yeah, how you guys been, man? How's your week going? What have you guys been playing? Tuesday came up kind of quick for me. So, yeah.
It comes quick for all of us all the time.
Yeah, and it hits us by surprise pretty much every single time.
Yeah.
But I haven't been playing anything this week. It's been a slow week for me this week, so nothing really to report. No, haven't been watching much, but next week is Doctor Strange, so
Oh, it's next week?
to that.
I didn't get my ticket,
Yep.
so I'm going to be hunting how to get
Ooh.
into the theater. Yeah, it'll
Yeah,
be
you're
fun.
gonna have to figure that one out.
Yeah, I will. We'll get there. Yendi, what about you? How's your week look?
It's
How's
been
your
good.
week
It's been
look?
good. I continue to play State of Decay 2, and it's still a lot of fun. It's one of those games that has me hooked. I don't know for how long, but we'll see. But and then I've still been watching The Last Man on Earth, which is just like you put it on at night and just something funny to watch. I don't take it seriously, but it's something. It's better than nothing. So yeah.
How was your lake experience?
My what?
Your lake experience.
Oh man. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was so. I first saw that game randomly on Xbox Game Pass app. I'm like, oh, this looks like it might be cool. But then I passed it up because it looked like something I wouldn't want to play. Then I heard somebody on a podcast I listened to talk about it, and they were saying how relaxing it is and how it's just like different from everything out there. I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna try it.
Which is nothing what
Doesn't cost me
Yendi
anything.
likes.
Yeah, it was free on Game Pass. So I downloaded. I tried it. I feel like it was made by one person. I was clipping through a mountain. It was there on purpose. You know how they have like in certain shooters when you go far off into the distance, the trees turn with you,
Mhm.
right? And it's just like one side. Well, that was everything far away. It wasn't very open. The mechanics were very clunky. Every time you got out of the car, it was a black screen, a loading screen. Same thing when you go back in it. I tried to run people over. It wouldn't happen. I couldn't run anybody over. I couldn't hit a car. I couldn't hit a tree. It was just like playing bowling with the guardrails on. I wasn't having it.
It
Wasn't
sounds
very
like
relaxing.
another relaxing game that kind of blew up was Unpacking. Have you heard of that one?
No.
You're literally
Never.
moving into an apartment and you're unpacking. That's all you do.
That is not a relaxing experience. at
Yeah,
all.
right.
Yeah,
Hell
no,
that sounds like
that's
the opposite.
apparently it's a very nice game. There's a background story to it as you're unpacking things. You're kind of learning the person's life. So a lot of people like it. Look it up. It sounds interesting. Not a game for me, but it sounds interesting.
I hate moving, so there's no way that I would have enjoyed
sounds
that.
like it's anxiety.
Just look it up.
Interesting.
I'm just saying. Just doesn't sound like the best kind of game for me.
For me, I unplugged everything on my desk and recabled everything so everything looks nice and neat. Cleaned the office a little bit. And I've been watching Seinfeld and playing Chrono Cross. Coworkers of mine got me into Seinfeld, and because I never watched, like, I've seen clips, I just never actually sat down and watched it. So now I'm enjoying it. But yeah, and then this week I'm looking at getting back into Halo now that everything's set up. Getting back into Halo and maybe some Apex and yeah, start doing some serious gaming again. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Some housekeeping. We do have me and Alan do have a video out for Halo. Is our latest video. It's always gonna be Halo, but I'm gonna say Moon Knight and Halo because that comes out in the same week. Keep up with us because we're working hard on getting that content out for you guys. If you have not seen Moon Knight, what are you doing? Go watch it now. Go watch our episode. If you have not seen Halo, Yendi, go watch it now. Come complain with us. All right.
Well, Yendi, now's a good time to watch it because by the time you get those 30 days, the season would be over. Because if it's 9 episodes and we're on episode 5, 30 days from now should be the rest of the 4. So you could finish it in time for the season finale, just saying.
Yeah, and if you could, Alan, turn yourself up a little bit. But yeah, man, trust in Master Chief. Look at this. He's taking care of my family here. Look what I have going on here now. Okay. Chief holding the
Wow.
way. Yeah. Always.
Do his arms move?
No, it's supposed to be a controller holder, but I didn't want to put my controller on there, and I was like, this would be funny.
Like
So
a
I did
paperweight.
this. Yeah.
Cool.
So today we're going to be talking about Ubisoft and a couple other random things I have in the show notes. We're also going to watch the new Starfield episode that came out that is talking about their game, giving us some context and everything. The guys have seen it. I've not, so they decided, like, hey, let's all watch it together and we'll talk about it. So I kind of hope that there is, like I keep saying, I love these the mini documentaries on this game, and I hope they have a giant one at the end, like all the way up to the game, like the game coming out, like we get like an hour or something like that. That'd be cool. But yeah, so let's go ahead and go into our first story. What?
Wait. Blackmagic says that the new look is sexy.
Oh yes, that's what I forgot to mention. You notice.
Thank you,
You
Blackmagic.
notice. Yendi did all of this work for us here. If you scan
Except the names.
except the what names?
He doesn't want to take credit for the names.
Why?
Not the names.
That's the
They're
font.
close. It's the font, yes, but the spacing is off.
my
Anyways.
God. Okay, anyway.
You almost had it. You almost had it.
Anyway, yeah, Yendi works hard on that. If you scan the QR code, it'll take you to our link tree. And if you don't want to do that, then we have them right there for you so you can type it out because some people like typing things out. So
now we officially have our, YouTube URL too. So
yeah. So youtube.com/Last Place Fire Team. No,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Is it Last Place Fire Team or LP? Okay.
Last Place
Fire
Fire
Team.
Okay, Last Place Fire Team. There you go. Yeah, there it is. So look it up. Send it to your friends. It's
Moving on
easier. Yeah, send it to
Moving
your
on.
moms,
Moving
your
up in the
grandmas,
world.
your grandfathers, your uncles,
And-
cousins, all that.
We've transitioned to Anchor, right, Alan?
Yes, we have transitioned to Anchor on podcasts, which thanks for bringing that up, Yendi. So Anchor now, it's pretty much what distributes our podcast. If you guys have Spotify, every episode I actually leave a poll that you guys can respond to in Spotify, the app. So might leave some little nuggets in there and stuff like that. It could also be a nice way to do a giveaway. So if you guys are listening on Spotify or, you could check that out. But Anchor also has pretty much like a new profile page for us and stuff like that. There's cool things on there. You can go check it out. And then it gives us a easier link to all of our podcast channels. It is pretty sweet.
There's the
See?
poll right there.
Right?
Cool.
It's pretty cool. And you can do Q&As on it. It's only on Spotify for right now. Hopefully it can hopefully Anchor kind of transitions into the other ones, but since Anchor is a Spotify product, it probably won't. But it is really cool for anyone who listens to us on Spotify.
Nice.
Very nice. All right, moving into our first story. Unless there's something else that I forgot. Forget anything else?
Nope.
We
I
good?
don't think so.
All right. Shout out to our future sponsors. And yeah, so we're going to be talking about Ubisoft. Ubisoft has been in the news quite a bit this week. It's been a very weird week, not just for gaming. apparently, the whole Elon Musk thing is happening with
He
Twitter.
has purchased Twitter.
What else crazy has happened? There was something else, man, that was just kind of out there, and everybody's weird. Yeah, but so Ubisoft there's talks of other companies trying to acquire Ubisoft. This is from Game Informer that I'm reading it for him. So Ubisoft could be the next company to be purchased amidst ongoing industry-wide acquisitions that include Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard, Sony buying Bungie, and Take-Two acquiring mobile giant Zynga.
Mhm.
Is that what it is? Okay. So they're reporting that, like, I don't think the last I heard about this was Microsoft was planning on acquiring it. They were the first ones to be like, I kind of want dibs on this. So, but there was another company. I don't skimming through this. I don't see. That's because Bloomberg is reporting that multiple private equity firms, including Blackstone Inc. and KKR and Co., have been.
Blackstone.
What's
We
that?
know Blackstone. We know Blackstone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're still in part of SeaWorld. Well, no, I don't think they own them anymore.
No, not anymore.
Mm-mm.
Have been studying the French businesses, eyeing it for potential acquisition. According to sources, the publication says are people with knowledge of the matter. Okay. However, despite this, Ubisoft hasn't reportedly entered into serious talks or negotiation proceeding with with these potential purchases. And Bloomberg's sources say it's unclear whether Ubisoft's major shareholder is even willing to pursue a transaction such as this in the first place. So I'm pretty
That's what they
sure
all say until they sell.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Elon will also hear about this and then take over.
No,
So
he's not doing that.
yeah,
He's not getting
yeah,
into
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys' opinion on this? Right. So, one, I don't know. So, to me, for Ubisoft, right, I feel like in the past couple years, I'm not gonna say they've gone down, right? But it's not really like it feels like it's becoming like a cult classic like area of people that like that game. Yeah, kind of stays the same. Yeah, and they're there and they're like, hey, we got the new Assassin's Creed, and everybody's like, okay, it's not bad, it's not good, it's just like, okay, it's there. So, one, I wanted to ask you guys, who do you think is gonna, well, who do you want to end up acquiring Ubisoft?
This is kind of funny because this seems like another week where we've semi-predicted a sale about to happen, because this is what last week when we talked about what like Sony or whoever should buy something, and big name companies, and Ubisoft was one of the companies we talked about. So I feel like Sony is the perfect match. I feel like if Sony can get in there, I don't know if Sony is willing to. I don't know what the important thing is the cost. We don't know how much it's going to cost, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a big deal, because regardless of how you feel about the games, Assassin's Creed is still a big time seller on multi-platform. So acquiring that would be pretty good.
$2.4 billion.
And you have you'd have the whole Tom Clancy scene, because that's all Ubisoft stuff. So I feel like it would definitely be good for Sony to acquire it. If I feel like Microsoft acquiring it would become a bit much. I feel like that's a lot of studios to have under your table. I also feel like legally, I don't know how they're gonna pass that either.
Yeah, monopoly.
Having purchased.
Well,
I mean, I know there's for sure ways they could work around it, but it would be what 3 or 4 years, and they've purchased. It would have been ZeniMax, Activision Blizzard, and now Ubisoft. I feel like legally someone would step in and say, you can't do that. That's a bit too much. We've already given you guys this amount, and that would be a lot for you. I mean, even it would be a huge undertaking for Microsoft. But of course, I think Microsoft will always be in the table, or a potential buyer, because they just have the unlimited funds. They have all the money. They have a ton of it, and they can spend it whenever they feel. And obviously, it would be a perfect pairing with Game Pass, as always. So I think if Microsoft can find a way to get it, it would be great. But I can't see it legally. How do you pass that legally? But then again, anybody who says they're not selling is selling because, up until 2 weeks ago, Twitter wasn't for sale. And what is it, $44 billion later? It's sold. So who knows?
I was talking about this at work the other day, and it's kind of weird to think about. We were talking about Bethesda, and I was like, we were talking about this situation in general, and we agreed, like a couple of my buddies agreed, that if Ubisoft definitely feels like a Sony thing for them, and it's kind of weird to say that because obviously it can go anywhere. But whenever I talked about Bethesda, like them going into Xbox, I was like, whenever I played a Fallout game, I think I played Fallout 3 on my PS3 though, or New Vegas, something like that on PS3, and it felt like it should have been on Xbox. I was like, this kind of feels weird, even though it's just like the change of the controller for me. But I was like, this kind of feels like an Xbox game to me. Like I would only play this on Xbox.
In general, to me, feel like they're all Xbox games.
Yeah.
I just enjoy FPSs a lot better on the controller. I think the controller is perfect for FPSs. I think anything else like adventure and stuff like that, the dual shocks work perfectly for. And I think that's kind of the sense that we get. But also that's what we kind of played the most of. Like if you think about it, you probably played most of your first person shooters all on Xbox.
Yep.
Especially if you've had both consoles, you probably played most of your first person shooters on Xbox and most of your adventure games and stuff on your PlayStation. So
yeah, so it's definitely weird. So I would say, yeah, it would be a Sony thing. I don't think they're gonna do it. I'm totally expecting Nintendo to come up and sweep everybody under the rug and
Nintendo's
take
not
over.
buying Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. And then
they're not doing that.
Yeah. What about you, Yanni? What are you thinking about? What do you think about the whole situation? What's a company? What company do you want to take over? Or to acquire? Sorry, Ubisoft.
I think Microsoft is probably the front runner for a lot of people, but then I wonder what would you the Ubisoft IPs look like under Take-Two's leadership, right? Since they're already going into that live service thing, and Rockstar knows about live service, and Take-Two has what the NBA games. They have a whole bunch of live service games, if I'm not mistaken.
That is,
so I think
absolutely.
That might be the best company to take on all those IPs and really push that live service and free to play thing. I don't see Sony doing it for some reason. It's just that's the very last one that I would see doing that. Nintendo, I would not be surprised if they do pull that. That would be quite a bit of new IPs that they add to their portfolio, but I mean, and they have the money to do it. They have the money to do it, and I'd be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked if they did.
They have the money, but at the end of the day, Nintendo doesn't need another. They don't need to make a purchase when everyone purchases their stuff first party.
Quick. We're on Nintendo, because I wanted to take a quick sidestep, right? Put a pause on the Ubisoft thing. Okay. For Nintendo, all right, I just want to get a quick yes or no. Do you think we get a Switch Pro announcement this year? I'm being honest. There's more rumors about Breath of the Wild, and then also Splatoon 3's video. Me and Bree were watching it, and even Bree was just like, "This looks really good," and I was like, yeah, it does look really good." So, Yandy, what do you think?
Wait. Wasn't Breath of the Wild delayed till next year?
Till spring of next year, yeah. But there's so many people saying, and there's, I guess they say expert. I don't know what experts they're talking to, but they're like, oh, this looks like it doesn't run. Like this looks like it's running way smoother than it would on a Switch. So everybody's like,
runs on the Switch when they
short answer, no, not this year. It'll release alongside Breath of the Wild 2 next year.
Okay. Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Just like the original Switch released in spring.
But you do think we'll get a Switch Pro?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Remember a long time ago when I said that the current Switch OLED was supposed to be
it was supposed to be
and they just didn't use the components because they didn't have them, so they just released what they had at the time. I think we'll get the actual Pro next year.
All right, but anyway, back to Ubisoft. Yeah, Nintendo's not buying it. That was just a joke. What would you say I'm trying to think here. What? So I'm thinking people want it on Xbox because of Game Pass. They would love to see, be able to play Assassin's Creed, Far Cry. They just put it all on Game Pass. But also, do you think this is going to end up somebody acquiring Ubisoft? Do you think this is going to help them out in the long run with their games of getting them where they want to be?
Yeah, because Ubisoft seems to be all over the place with their games. They're making
Recently,
games that
yeah,
nobody's
it's just
asking
like
for.
it's
They're
what's
like
going on?
2-3 years behind the curves. Like what you got? They're releasing X Defiant when nobody asked for it. It looks like something that's from like 2015. But I think they need direction up top, and it being a private company and being run by just Eves, pretty much. It's just they need somebody new in charge, and I think anybody else will help this company because, like I said, to me, they've just plateaued, and they release mediocre games every year. Uh, from what I've seen, just reviews and people talking about it, we'll hear something about the game at launch and then just dies down right away. We don't have, there's no staying power in the games, unlike something like Rockstar, which still has, staying power with GTA, Bethesda staying power, that kind of stuff. I often forget Ubisoft is a thing until I see stories like this.
Yeah, after Assassin's Creed 3, I kind of fell off with them.
Well,
Yeah.
oh no, you did miss some good Assassin's Creed if you stopped at 3. I will say that because Black Flag was amazing.
Okay, no, I stopped after what was after Black Flag?
I think it's Origins.
Yeah, I stopped at Black Flag.
Odyssey.
Didn't play it.
Yeah, those are some really good ones.
But anyway, yeah, do you think we'll start seeing exclusives depending on who buys them?
Whoever buys. I mean, listen, anybody who's willing to fork up money, like I've said from the beginning, I said this when the whole Bethesda thing went down. Like, you don't buy companies to not make them to have some form of an exclusive because you want to make a return on your investment. And the only way to make a return on your investment is if people are buying something that's related to whatever you've purchased, and it can only be bought that way. So I know Xbox kind of did it in a kind of more unique way by having Game Pass and saying that it's exclusive to Game Pass. But yeah, if a company buys it, it has to be exclusive because you want people to buy your products, or in Microsoft's case, you want them to be purchasing your subscription. So I don't see if a company buys it, depending on who it is, of course, especially if it's one of the big two of Sony and Microsoft, definitely going to be exclusive for sure.
All right. So, did you guys have any more to put on that before we move on? All right, real quick before we get to the Starfield thing, I wanted to get you guys' opinion. Did you guys play? I know Alan probably has. Tales from the Borderland. No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this was big news that came out this week that they said that they wanted to continue Tales from the Borderlands, and it would be coming out this summer along with the announcement. So there's supposed to be an announcement this summer, and it's supposed to also come out this summer, which I thought was crazy. It definitely pulled a Nintendo on us early. I totally think whenever they do the announcement, I feel like it's going to be one of those announcements where it's like, you can play it today. Now. Yeah, like right after this stream ends, you're going to be able to play it today. I just want to get quick opinions because Borderlands has been, they've been going crazy in the background, man. So Tiny Tina's just came out. It's only been out, I want to say like maybe 3 weeks. And I heard that game is actually really fun whenever you have a group of people. And the fact that they're doing this is pretty cool. Also, somebody brought up at my job, they're like, whatever happened to the Borderlands movie? Completely forgot about that. And I have no idea if that's canceled or not.
It'll be out at some point.
You think so? Okay, because Mario Bros. Just got delayed, so we'll see what happens with that. And it looks like we're going to have to wait longer to hear Chris Pratt's voice. But anyway, are you excited for, Alan, are you excited for the next Tales of the Borderlands? Are you going to be playing it?
Usually, I probably would get around to it. I know Borderlands is known for this. They know who their audience are. They know what their audience likes, and they know that their audience is going to buy it. So that's the best thing that I think Borderlands does, is that they don't try to cater too much into getting new people into the game, because, like, for instance, a perfect example is like Tiny Tina. If you're not a Borderlands fan, you probably won't get into that game because of all of the ridiculous stuff that it's like a Borderlands game for Borderlands fans. And I think that's the cool. I think that's cool that Borderlands does it that way. They don't necessarily care about making crazy sales or anything like that. They just want to make fun games for people who do enjoy playing with their friends, especially with that announcement of it being cross-platform day one. I think that's the important thing for the creators over there at Borderlands. Tales of the Borderlands is going to be the same thing. It's going to be the fans wanted it. They want another, episode, or I guess a new game, and they're going to make it for that fan base, and it's probably something they had already planned or already started making, and that's why it's easy for them to just drop it on the same day they announce it.
Tales of the Borderlands was my first Tales game, and it's probably my favorite Borderlands game. I love that game so much. It's a lot of fun. I thought it was going to be boring just watching something and making decisions, and I was like, this is the best thing ever. Depending on if you like it. If you don't like Borderlands a lot or at all, you're going to hate it. And yeah, man, I might be going back because I have to. I have the Batman one that I got from PlayStation Plus a while back, and that's just been kind of sitting there. So I got to try all the Batman ones. The problem with those games is that they come out in chapters, and I just kind of want to wait until that chapter comes out, or until all of them come out and play through them all. Yendi, what about you? Have you played any Telltale game at all, or taken interest?
Yeah, I think I played a little bit of the Walking Dead one many years ago. I think something else came out and I switched to that. But the little bit that I played was pretty good. So
I heard The Wolf Among Us is also a great one, a great story.
Wolf Among Us really good. Yeah. I mean, like I said, they definitely have an audience for that because Life is Strange is on game like 6 at this point. So there's definitely, those story-based kind games are definitely, there's a home for them. I know Game of Thrones came out with one, which was good too. So they have a bunch of those. So like I said, there's definitely an audience for that category. They are fun games to just sit back and listen, as long as the story has to be fantastic. So that's one of those things where you're not willing to play it if the story's boring. So
yeah. Yendi, do you think you're gonna take a do you think you're gonna take a chance on the Borderlands series, like the Telltale game?
Telltale, no. I have played Borderlands 3, which I want to get back into. But
is that the only Borderlands you've played?
Yeah, my first one actually. That was whenever it came out 2-3 years ago. Has it been already?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while already. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So that is going to be it for that. We're going to move on to Starfield. So we're going to watch the video and then we're going to talk about it. It's about 6 minutes, 40 seconds for our podcast listeners. I think we're going to cut to.
We're going to pause it. So
yeah.
Podcast listeners, it's going to be a pause and then you'll get our reaction of the video.
So let's go to screen share real quick. Hold on. Let me do this. Go and do that. Go live. Oh yeah. All right, you guys ready?
I was born ready.
Yeah, there we go. Nice.
What?
Let's do it.
Yeah, just straight face.
I was looking at the stream, so it took a while to be like, oh, that's not placed yet. Okay.
Hold on. It's messing up for me. God dang it. All right. Full screen. There we go. Why is there no audio?
I can hear it.
You can?
Yeah.
And I keep clicking on this. I can't hear anything.
I had to add a source.
Oh. Okay. Don't look, spoilers.
Pause it. There you go.
Sorry. Sorry, guys. You're going to see some behind the scenes stuff here. I don't know why it's doing this to me. That's why. Oop. System, test audio, stop, go. Blip, blap. Go back to the grid.
I always say that the music is the fourth dimension. It is the emotional dimension. And so in order to create this, you have to ask these questions. Where are you going? You know, what's your motivation?
Where are you going?
What is your story? What is really pushing us? This is what really drove me more than anything else. These huge questions, they're as big as space.
Put on your headphones, folks.
Everything I've worked on at this studio, the music started very early on, as early as the concept art for the game. From when I began here in 2005. At that time, Oblivion was already well underway. But as we went on to Fallout 3 after that, that was one of the first things I worked on music-wise was the main theme. And that's always been the case, where the main theme sets the tone for everything else we do in the game.
Oh.
And there's time throughout the entire project for that to evolve.
That's true, and I remember like during the Fallout 4 visit, which was actually in 2012, I was wandering through the corridors and I basically stumbled into the artist's room. And it was the first time I actually saw them do what they're doing. I was captivated. I was like, wow, I mean, this is really what it is all about. And I felt so inspired and motivated basically to go back and, you know, to do the same thing with the palette of music. The biggest challenge is actually creating the signature.
I relax a lot once we feel good about the main theme, because the rest is going to, it'll be work and iteration, but it's going to write itself.
The way I looked at Starfield always is what I called the sanctified triplet, which is everything is streaming, right?
already like the
Everything
main
is
theme.
changing. And
Yeah,
everything
I'm
is
already thinking about the
Sounds
vinyl.
Star Warsy.
Yeah.
Ta-da, here's your development, and then ta-da, and back. So basically, it presents itself, it develops, it goes back.
The circular.
Is exactly some sort of like a circular journey.
You go out, you adventure, discover, return.
Yes, there's always the strive to go back home. And that's, I mean, I guess that's what feels so complete for us, right? We want to complete the mission. We want to complete our journey. We will find something, we will discover something, we'll take it with us, and we will go back home with it. When we built the traditional orchestral sound palette, we actually really divided the orchestral group. For example, took the woodwinds, okay? And we created like a whole woodwind layer that almost represents particle in space, because they don't play melodies at all. They play sort of like a high frequency sequence, you know, like together. So they almost don't sound like woodwind. They sound something between organic to synthetic. Then the strings, they will play this long chords or long melodies and long crescendos and diminuendos. And these kind of things along the line with the fast moving woodwinds will create a nice blanket around these waves, okay? And then comes the brass. And the brass, especially the French horns, playing sort of like the beacon, you know, the call of the brass.
Those instrument groups as well. A lot of times when you are looking at that whole main theme, I'm kind of salivating thinking about what can I do with that on the sound design side, you know, not just to weave the main theme into different key points in the game, leveling up, discovering new places. Could we use that as straight up sound design to take those woodwind tremolos and just let's slow them way down, let's reverse them. I'll take any of that music and turn it into ambience somewhere. The music is like the companion. It's the companion to the player in the single-player game. We don't have control over how the player chooses to experience the game. Our sense of scale had to be totally readjusted in making a game on a planetary surface as we've always done before, and now where you have these very vast distances against this black, starry background. It is a blank canvas and a massive playground, and all the pieces are there for you to write your own story. Whether you jump right in and you wish to follow the main quest, the main story, and go to the obvious. One point leads to another, leads to another. The music has a funny way of playing the right chord change at the right time, and a lot of that just happens at random. You look over the valley at just the right moment, and that just happens to be when this one chord change happens, and there are times like that that feel scripted, and they're not. And I like that each player has that experience for themselves personally.
I believe that the game is a whole experience, and music is part of the whole experience.
Yeah.
I believe that the best music in a game is a music that you don't hear, music that you feel. This is something that is bigger than us. I mean, so many people worked on this game. And so my wish is that specifically the music will be present in a way that is going to magnify the entire experience.
Give me the game right now.
While you're switching over here, Chris,
Yeah.
I guess I have a question for you, Alan. That's something that I just thought about. Starfield being an open world, do you think we will have one planet to explore, or do you think we'll have kind of like the Mass Effect
That's the.
where they have like sections?
I'm interested. Oh, hold on. Let me hit the record on the. I'm interested to find that out because I'm wondering, because of Lost World and no, is it Lost World? Outer World. Like, I wonder if it would feel more. Would it feel closer to that game? And where I don't know if they want to put you on one big planet, but I can't. I mean, I don't know if they want to put you on multiple planets so where it would feel like that game where you are traveling to different locations and stuff like that. I don't know if they want it to feel that similar to that game, but I can't see you staying on the same planet when it seems like they have such big emphasis on your ship. Like, you know what I mean? Like your ship feels like it's going to be part of that game also. So I can't see us staying in one spot. I just don't see it.
The thing I can't see happening is that they make different worlds and they're all super detailed. If they said this is going to be like Skyrim in space, then I expect a world like Skyrim, and I expect to be able to find stuff all over the place, and just for years to come, still finding new stuff to do, and dungeons and treasure and stuff like that. I just can't see this happening in a game that's supposed to be or supposedly of this scope, which is huge. If I'm getting everything correctly, but then I wonder, is procedural generation involved, and is it going to be like No Man's Sky, which that can only get so good after once you play if you never play No Man's Sky, and then you start up for the first time, you'll be wowed by every planet you land on until about the 10th, 15th planet. Then you start to realize everything's being recycled. Yeah. But I just don't see Bethesda going that route, which then begs the question, like, how are they going to approach this? I mean, it's not like they got some crazy new technology with the next generation console or a new engine or anything like that. It's just I want to see a Skyrim type map where it's super detailed, and then I guess I'll take 3 other planets that are almost as detailed but much smaller in scale. Basically like DLCs.
I
If
think
we're
you can
thinking about
trick
that
it
way.
though.
Oh, I
You
think
can
there's gonna
trick
be
it
DLCs for
to a
sure.
point where it's one like it feels like one big world, but like yeah, I mean, and you're going to different planets. So like I feel like if you build the level, like build that map the way you want it to be built, and then section it off as you're going to other planets, it would kind of still have the same remnants of you being in. It wouldn't be obviously this one. It wouldn't be one big planet, but essentially would just the game itself would be like a coalition of those other planets counting as just the game itself. So I can't see it being as free roamed as like you said, like not like you said. I don't think it will be like 10 planets where like I don't think they'll do the no Man's Sky. I think you'll have it to a point because I feel like the game is still a story driven game. So I feel like it's going to require you to go to certain places. But I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be like, I can't see it being like any planet you want to go to. I feel like maybe 3 or 4, like really well detailed planets is what the game will be. I think that's what we'll get.
Did they give us did they tell us what the premise of it is? Like how it's gonna
No.
start out?
Nothing. The only thing
That's
we
what's
know is
crazy.
the-
I can't even
The release date.
I can't even begin to think like why am I exploring like you know how like Fallout you always start in the vault or like you always start you
Well,
either start
actually-
in the vault or you start like you see that or I think it was Fallout 4 that you're running into the vault and then stuff happens and you come out and you're
Yeah.
like hey the world was you know
Actually, from context clues that have been shown in the videos, you are part of an exploration.
Mhm.
What do you call it? Guild or something like that.
yeah
Mhm.
Because you'll see like in some of the videos in the background, you'll see like patches
Yeah.
saying navigation guild or exploration guild, something like that. So I think we're just people that go from one place to the other, either to grab supplies and bring it back, or your job is to go out into new unexplored worlds and come back and report and stuff like that, which is perfect.
Yeah.
I love that.
I just
I
know
hope-
with every video I see, I'm just more anxious. And this is part of the reason why I normally don't, I try not to watch things like this and why I don't watch trailers because now I'm going to only think about Starfield until this game comes out.
Yeah.
Like it builds the hype that I'm already hyped for because I know, like, I feel like Bethesda's really, just by what they're saying, and I feel like the openness, they're really confident in this game. Like, I feel with them giving out all this information just means they're confident with what they've already built, and I think because of that I'm kind of getting that like I'm getting that itch to where I'm like they know what they did here. They've made something great and they just want us to play it, and now we have to wait till November, and it's so
Oh,
long
man.
from now, but it's right around the corner. But I just want to get my hands on it. I want to know more about the story. I just want to know what I'm getting myself into. So I'm super excited every time I see one of those videos, especially one on sound and music.
Yeah, I was about to say I will be on the hunt for that vinyl. That vinyl is something that I need to collect. I hope they come out with it.
Sure.
Also seems like one of those games that that whenever because I obviously it's only for Xbox and PC. One, it makes me want to get an Xbox Series X even though I don't need it. But also I plan on streaming it on PC, and I'll probably that's a game that I'll probably bust out the green screen and take up as like little space as I can on that screen so everybody can just like if they're watching they can experience everything in full. Like I don't want to block anything. I'm very excited. I wish more games would do documentaries like this, man. I mean God of War did one. It came out months later, right? Or maybe
Yeah.
even a year
But
later.
yeah, I mean, like I said, the documentary thing is a sign of confidence though.
Yeah.
Like people don't want to I agree with you. I wish more games would do it just so that we could get more of an idea of what their vision is, and kind of like I feel like when someone can explain certain things that you might not get, it makes a little bit more sense. Like I love director notes and all that stuff, but I feel like for them to do that though, it's also saying, look, we're pretty confident in what we're saying and what you guys are going to think about this game, so we can drop it for you. And look, I mean, God of War did it, and obviously. Like, you know what I mean? I think I definitely think that it comes with the level of confidence that you need to have in your product. So
Yeah. Yendi, any more on
I'm excited. I can't wait, and I hope that it comes out this year. I
It
completely
will.
forgot it was
okay,
exclusive. I have no
yeah,
idea. Completely forgot.
I did too, because I got
Uh,
for a second I was just like, oh, I'm gonna bring my PS5 in here. I'll put it on the PS5 so I can take it into the living room and play in the living room.
nope,
And yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You might be able to play it on the cloud.
yeah,
So you got
which would
that
be
going for you.
insane.
Yeah. So yeah, super excited. I can't wait. I've been waiting for a game like this. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully they've been actually working on this for many years, not just like the Battlefield route. They're like, oh, we're ahead of
Oh, no.
schedule.
Come on, dog.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do
So
that. Don't do EA.
when do you think
don't
we'll
compare Bethesda to
when do you think we get all this? We get to see a lot of these games. Now that E3's canceled, do you think?
It'll be spurts throughout the year. I mean, like I said, E3 is not something that, I mean, it's just because we're accustomed to it that we feel like it's a sense of timeline. But last year and the year before that proved that we don't necessarily need them. We can drop a game, you can drop a game, or all these companies can do it whenever they feel. I mean, YouTube, and we have so many outlets now for media that you don't, like I said, it doesn't have to be one big thing anymore. You can just have people go, oh, here's this content. Like, I mean, look at Starfield. Starfield is doing its own self promotion
Yeah.
essentially with with documentaries. So they're getting people hyped. And then you know what's gonna happen. Like some people are gonna be like, yo, did you watch that new video? And stuff like that. So I think it's not gonna be a set in stone time, which I think honestly is better because I feel like you don't have to feel rushed to have something or to compete with someone on E3 because that's essentially what E3 became. Who's going to have like the better stuff or whatever. Now you can do it at your own pace. You can do it whenever you're ready to drop it, and then basically you can be a little bit more you can be a little bit more secretive about when games are going to come out, and that way it doesn't, people are not too hyped for certain things like, oh, this game's gonna, I saw this game at E3 in 2015 and it's still not out. Like, you don't have to deal with that anymore. So I think throughout the years it's going to come out, and I think I honestly think it's a better format than just having to rush E3s out.
All right. That is pretty much everything. I'm kind of looking around to see if there's any other news we missed out on. Which I don't think we did. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a shorter show, but that's going to do it unless you guys have another surprise story. Nothing. All right, that's going to do it for us. I'm going to go eat a pot roast.
Yeah, that he didn't invite us over for.
Oh my God. Who's going to Guardians?
What?
Who's going to Guardians?
No.
Exactly. Shut your
no.
mouth.
Listen,
Shut your mouth.
It's not the point.
Shut your mouth.
I don't even live that far away. I could have been invited for some pot roast. That's what I'm saying.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend. It really helps us out, and we appreciate you all for joining us. If you want to be, I didn't say it in the beginning, if you want to be a guest on our show, please hit us up. We'd love to have you. Don't take that thought of, oh, I don't know if I could be on a podcast. I don't know what to talk about. That's literally all we think about a lot of the time, except for Alan. Alan can talk about anything. I think he's probably the only confident podcaster on the crew. Because I'm like...
Yendi's confident.
Yendi?
Yeah, you look at Yendi. Yendi's confident.
Look at him.
Exuberating.
Also, I'm kind of disappointed because we didn't get a dad joke today, but it's okay. Everybody needs a day off.
Yeah, I guess she didn't show up. Yeah. Oh, well.
That's all right. All right. Again, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, last place fire team out. Give me a second because I'm new to the OBS thing. Wait, let me see here. The stop streaming thing right there. There we go.